God bless you, Pennsylvania. You know, I am so happy and blessed that this is the gathering where Jesus is welcome. Come on, do we got some Jesus lovers in the house? Can we make some noise for our Lord and Savior? I'm standing here as a proud Puerto Rican that recognizes that this country is worth fighting for, but even more importantly, like every other nation on earth, it's worth praying for. And as long as there are God-fearing, Christ-following people who will not bow their knees to idols, but instead humble themselves before our Creator and seek Him, America will remain a prosperous and thriving nation. And before we pray, I want my fellow Puerto Rican brothers and sisters to know. Quiero decirle a mis compañeros puertorriqueños, necesitamos liderazgo. No nos desenfoquemos de lo que nuestra comunidad necesite, una economía fuerte y exitosa, educación para nuestros niños y no indoctrinación. No más pornografía en las escuelas, respeto, dignidad y seguridad para nuestros niños y nuestras doncellas y un sueño americano avivado. Puerto Rico, eres la isla del Cordero. I want to pray, and y'all probably haven't done this in Trump rallies before, but I want to do this in a way that honors God and in a way that shows humility before Him. So if you can and if you're comfortable, just hold the hand of the person next to you. Just grab the hand of the person next to you. And let's go before our Lord and Savior this evening. Almighty and sovereign Father in heaven, we come before you today in humility and recognition of your faithfulness and goodness. We exalt and praise your holy name and ask that you would bless our time together tonight, that your grace, peace, and presence would cover and fill us, for without you we are and have nothing. Lord, we thank you for Jesus Christ and the work of redemption that has forgiven us and given us access to your presence. Bless and protect and guide this campaign. Bless and protect President Trump, his family, and all who surround him. Let your wisdom, favor, and grace be abundant in his life and shut down the plans of every enemy that seeks to harm and hinder him. Lord, we pray, God, right now that your peace and protection would go with every candidate and elected official present here today. Father, lead them and fill them with your strength, with your patience, and your perseverance. Lord, we ask, God, that you would give wisdom and discernment to every voter, that we would vote for candidates and issues that lessen the progress of evil across this nation. And God, we ask your blessing over the great state of Pennsylvania and declare that you are not done with America yet, as you raise a generation of empowered believers that will stand for life and truth, righteousness and justice for all people. So God, thank you. We praise you and we give you all the honor and glory in the powerful, precious name of Jesus. And all God's people say, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome retired U.S. Army Colonel Sean Welch to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please face a flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Gilbert Family Singers to sing our national anthem.
By the dawn's early light,
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage local business leader Tim Ramos.
Good evening. How are you? A toda mi gente latino, buena tarde y bienvenido. Estamos muy orgullosos que estamos aquí con nosotros en este lugar. I want to start by introducing myself. My name is Tim Ramos. I'm a husband for 20 years to my beautiful wife, Nidiel. I'm a father of 5, and I'm the former mayoral candidate here in the city of Allentown. I'm a Puerto Rican man, and I'd like to start by expressing my love for the island and people of Puerto Rico. We have a proud heritage, a heritage that has seen our men fight in every war this nation has ever waged. We are a beautiful people from a beautiful island, from our flag to our beaches to our salsa music. We encapsulate what true beauty is. Our men at arms are the epitome of bravery and courage. Our women, the essence of strength and resilience. Diamonds formed under pressure. And we need a leader who understands that and sees that in us. Donald Trump is that leader. Donald Trump is not only the right choice for the Puerto Rican people, he's the right choice for all of America. We're here today because we're tired of the empty promises. We're tired of being told how to think, who to vote for, and watch as we have this broken border, a broken economy under weak leaders like Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. In this time, I'm reminded that the Bible promises us that if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and kneel and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, heal their lands, and forgive their sins. That is the healing we need today as a country. Today, our communities can't even make it check to check, let alone worry about what they're gonna do tomorrow. As the bills continue to pile up, as we look around and everyone's struggling, being pushed into a welfare system, because that is what the Democrat Party wants for us. But that's not what we're gonna settle for. We're not gonna sit by, we're not gonna watch our country just fade away into oblivion under the leadership of leaders who do not love this country, but want to betray every single one of you and everyone outside. But we know that we have a leader in Donald Trump who's willing to stand up, who's willing to literally put his life on the line. That's what we're witnessing, and that's the kind of leader we need. Someone who's gonna push back, stand, and have the fortitude to look the other side in the eye and say no more. We're gonna put America first, we're gonna support our country and nothing else. Let us elect Donald J. Trump as our next president and restore this country to the leadership and the greatness that it was. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage 2016 Pennsylvania State Director for the Trump Campaign, Ted Christian.
Hey! Wow! This place filled up quick. A week to go and the Valley showed out. Thank you for coming here today. My name is Ted Christian, and I'm the state director of the 2016 campaign in Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. Yeah, so you're welcome. But I'm also your neighbor. I live just down the road in Bucks County. We're my family. I have one of those too. And I've proudly worked with Donald Trump since 2015. It's aged me a little bit, especially this time of year. I think we're all here for one fundamental reason, and I have to ask you, are you ready to re-elect Donald Trump president? The Republican Party is ready for a new vision of the future. Pennsylvania is ready for a new vision of the future. America is ready for a new vision of the future. And remember, it was Pennsylvania that secured Donald Trump's victory late into the night in 2016. I'm sure everybody remembers where they were at 2:30 in the morning. And it'll be Pennsylvania that delivers that same victory to Donald Trump in 2024. But it's not only victory, it's victory with a purpose. Donald Trump will make America affordable again. Donald Trump will make America's borders secure again. President Trump will make America's cities safe again. And President Trump will make America free again. But for the next few days, he needs our help. Each of us can make a valuable contribution to the final stretch run. We need you to knock on doors and make key phone calls. Go online, please consider making a political contribution. We need you to talk to your neighbors, and we need you to return those mail-in ballots and turn out on Election Day. And that's what it'll take for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to win. Donald Trump is the straw that stirs the drink. So if Donald Trump does well, the whole ticket will do well. Dave McCormick to the U.S. Senate. Dave Sunday to the Attorney General's office. Tim DeFore, re-elected Auditor General. And Stacey Garrity, re-elected State Treasurer. One special note, Stacey's a dear friend. She's got some personal stuff going on. We miss her dearly on the campaign trail. For those of you who don't know Stacey, she is the hardest working person in state government. Now, I know that's not a high bar to get over, but we still love her and miss her. We can send a distinguished group of congressmen back to Washington. Some of them are here today. And send a guy who I think you know, State Representative Ryan McKenzie. I think he's due for a promotion, and let's send Susan Wild back home. We can grow our majority in the state Senate, regain our majority in the state House in Harrisburg, but we can't stop. Democrats like Kamala Harris and Josh Shapiro will use every trick in the book to get in our way, and we must defeat them head on. With the enthusiasm in this room and around the Commonwealth, there's nothing we cannot do and accomplish for Pennsylvanians who cherish the First and Second Amendment and just want to make a living and an opportunity for their families. We can save this country again in the way Pennsylvania has always stood in the middle of American greatness. From the signing of the Declaration of Independence to Valley Forge to Gettysburg, the eyes of the nation come here. We must step up and deliver to make America great once again. Thank you and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage State Senator Jared Coleman.
Are we at a Trump rally or what? This may be the biggest crowd the city of Allentown has seen in 20 years. But folks, I gotta tell you, I hear from Pennsylvanians every day about how life has gotten worse the past 4 years. Now, the dishonest media tries to tell everyone that things are better, that things really weren't that bad. But folks, we know this isn't true. Getting groceries for your family, putting gas in your car, paying your electric bills have gotten more painful
these past 4 years. The extreme policies of the radical liberal left are destroying our communities one at a time. Meanwhile, if you're like me, you're constantly hearing how Republicans are extreme. But let's talk about who's really extreme here. It was not long ago, right outside these doors by the Soldiers and Sailors monuments, that Allentown Democrats and other elected Democrats were calling to defund the police. Now, folks, that's extreme. Kamala Harris bailing out rioters rather than supporting law enforcement. That's extreme. Let's just get through them all here. Open border policies that allow some of the most violent criminals to cross freely into our country. That's extreme. Allowing abortion up until the time of birth. Folks, that's extreme. Supporting sex changes for inmates, and you all footing the bill, that's extreme. Eliminating cash bail so violent criminals can return to torment your communities before their trials, folks, that's extreme. Keeping children stuck in failing schools, that's extreme. Clawing back Second Amendment protections from law-abiding gun owners, that's extreme. And get this, I can't make this up, banning gas stoves and gas lawnmowers. Folks, that's extreme. And yet those positions are the highlight reels from the party of Kamala Harris. Folks, we're at a tipping point, and that's why we're all here today. In 1 week, we can stand up to the dangerous liberal radical left. In fact, Pennsylvanians have already started. Thousands of Pennsylvanians have already taken action by voting by mail to end the dangerous and failed policies of the Harris administration. Thousands more continue to vote every day by early on-demand voting in their counties. Here in Lehigh County, lines to vote on demand are out the door. In Bucks County, the lines have been so long that the commissioners and the Bucks County has kicked folks out of line. But more will vote on Election Day. Folks, vote by any legal method that you want to ensure that your voice is heard. By all means, just vote. In 1 week, on November 5th, we can all come together to push back against the radical liberal left. President Donald Trump sealed the border and stopped the migrant invasion, and he will do it again by finishing building the wall. President Trump harnessed the liquid gold under our feet, charting a course for us to be energy independent. And under President Trump, we will once again, baby drill, baby drill. President Trump will rebuild our cities by liberating our businesses from burdensome and redundant regulations and policies, all while making our cities safe, clean, and beautiful. Folks, if Kamala Harris was going to change and fix something, she would have already done it. So here's what we need to do. We need to fire the failure and hire the fighter. And there's only one person that will fight for everyone, and that is President Donald Trump. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage congressional candidate Ryan McKenzie.
Hello, Lehigh Valley! I am State Representative Ryan McKenzie, and I am also so proud to be your Republican nominee for U.S. Congress. In just 1 short week, we have an opportunity to change the direction of this country. we can get back on the right track, but we can only do it by getting out and voting and electing myself and firing Susan Wild, electing Dave McCormick to the U.S. Senate, and sending Donald Trump back to the White House. The energy and excitement that it is in this room, we have been seeing all across the Lehigh Valley. We have been going from Lehigh County to Northampton County, Carbon County, and Monroe. And in every portion of this district, people are looking for change. They have seen the failure of Joe Biden and Susan Wild for the past number of years. And that has led to economic heartbreak. It has led to inflation that is making it difficult for making ends meet. It has led to a wide open southern border that is leaving our country less secure and our communities less safe. And it has also led to chaos around the world. The only way that we get real change is by getting out and voting, though. And it's not good enough to just recognize that we want change in this country and to get out and vote. We need to elect leaders who will actually make the changes that benefit the American people. We need to go back to Washington and rein in the wasteful spending that has been driving inflation. We need to build the wall and secure the southern border. And we need leaders like Donald Trump who will bring peace around the world. We have that opportunity. As residents of the Lehigh Valley and residents of Pennsylvania, we have a unique opportunity. Because not only can we send Donald J. Trump back to the White House, but we can send Susan Wild packing. And that is so important because if we do all the hard work to elect Donald J. Trump back to the White House, he needs a Congress that is going to back him up and enact all of these policies that help America get back to its position of leadership in the world. So I want to say thank you to all of you for being here as we welcome Donald J. Trump back to the Lehigh Valley. But it's not enough. My request for you is that we go out over the next week. If you have not sent back your mail-in ballot, make sure you get it back in. If you're going to the polls on Election Day, have a plan to get to the polls and make sure that your vote is going to be cast and counted. And you need to make sure that your friends, your family, and everybody else who is maybe on the fence or is not considering voting, to make sure you drag them to the polls and tell them the importance of their vote and getting America back on the right track. So I want to close with a little call and response. Are you ready to fire Susan Wild? Are you ready to send Dave McCormick to the U.S. Senate? And are you ready to send Donald Trump back to the White House? That's it, my friends. Vote, vote, vote. Thank you, and God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman Dan Mueser.
Well, let's go! Hello, Allentown, Pennsylvania. And welcome everybody else. Ryan McKenzie, great job. We're gonna elect Ryan in a week. We need him in the House. So, let's finish this. What do you say?
we're here to support and re-elect Donald J. Trump, the 47th President of the United States, and make America safe again, prosperous again, healthy again, strong again, and you know the last part, great again. This election should not even be close. Let's review the record of Kamala Harris for a moment. You can say that again. She engaged in a cover-up of Joe Biden's mental decline, saying he was sharp as a tack just weeks before forcing him out. After forcing Biden out, she was selected, not elected. During her time in office, we have had endless crises, open borders, fentanyl deaths of Americans, an energy crisis, putting Venezuela over Pennsylvania, Tehran over Tawanda, an administration focused more on DEI than military readiness. And how about public safety and support for our men and women in blue from Kamala Harris and Waltz? Violent crime is up nearly 25% in almost every major city during her tenure. Harris is back defunding the police, ending cash bail, eliminating mandatory sentences, and is strongly supported by George Soros and his family. And how about the Trump-Harris debate when David Muir of ABC tried to fake fact-check President Trump's statement that crime was up? Boo. We all knew DJT was right, and the FBI, soon after the debate, quietly corrected the manipulated crime numbers, vindicating what President Trump said and what the American people knew all along. Trump was right. Trump was right, and you know what? We have had enough. And it is no wonder, while President Trump is getting all the police, law enforcement, and sheriff's endorsements, and you know what, folks? Let's hear it for our brave law enforcement officers. Thank you. Thank you for your service. And Harris has been perhaps even worse when it comes to our economy. She leaves behind a broken border, broken economy, broken world. And she expects to get re-elected president with that record? Is she fracking kidding me? And you know what, a quick word on this Tim Waltz character. One thing you can say about him, he's much better at loading tampons into boys' bathrooms than he is at loading a shotgun, I can tell you that. Unbelievable. Now let's take a quick look at why we support President Trump. He withstood and fought back from the Russia hoax, the BS from 51 intelligence officials who shamefully dismissed the Hunter Biden laptop story as Russian disinformation. And you know what? A shameful list that General Kelly has just joined. He beat Hillary Clinton despite all of this, and he beat an outrageous impeachment trial over a phone call with Zelensky about a topic which actually proved to be true in the end. And DJT's presidency created the strongest national security and economy, perhaps in the history of our great nation. And we know he will do it again. And once announcing he was going to run, he's been indicted, he's been fined, he's been investigated. He withstood weaponized courts, attempts to be thrown off the ballot, and assassination attempts. But we all know Donald J. Trump is standing strong and ready more than ever to, as you just said, fight, fight, fight. We in Pennsylvania get the last word when we elect President Donald J. Trump the next president of the United States. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for border security, sound energy policy, fiscal restraint, with Elon Musk leading the Efficiency Commission. How's that? And a patriotic military. And you know what? Let's knock this roof off thanking our men and women in our military. Thank you, our veterans. Thank you, our active military. Thank you for your service. Thank you for fighting for our freedom. We all know as well, a vote for President Trump is a vote for peace through strength and common sense, like no boys playing in girls' sports. Or drag queen story hour for first graders. What in the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, how about a president that has a strict love and adherence to the United States Constitution and to we the people? Pennsylvania and our Democrat Republic are on the ballot. And we will get what we vote for, won't we? So let's vote for Donald J. Trump, J.D. Vance over the next 4 years. We ain't seen nothing yet. Let's dream big, America. Let's vote, vote, vote. Make it too big to rig. Let's go, Pennsylvania. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage United States Shadow Senator from Puerto Rico, Zoraida Buxo.
Well, Pennsylvanians, hello. It feels great to be back here in Allentown. My name is Zoraida Buxo, and I am the Republican United States Shadow Senator for a beautiful island where I was born and raised. Indeed, a community very well anchored with steadfast conservative values of family, faith, economic freedom, and deep, deep love of country. Blessed by God, that is home. That is Puerto Rico. So we won't get rattled. We won't yield to ignorance, foolishness, or irrational thoughtlessness. We will remain focused on what is very important. We all share a desire for change for the good. The course that our nation has been wrongfully placed by the Biden-Harris administration must be reversed. Failed policies in the economy and energy production that have driven up your cost of living and that have you struggling every month to pay your bills. Failed policies in matters of border security, law enforcement, immigration that have caused a great deal of chaos, a surge in violent crime across the nation, drug smuggling, and that have you feeling unsafe and unprotected. That is the record of Kamala Harris as border czar and VP for the last almost 4 years in power. I feel your pain. I'm with you. The crisis that our nation is going through is not a result of a natural disaster. It's a direct consequence of the actions and omissions of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There are close to 6 million Puerto Ricans stateside, in addition to the 3.2 million American citizens that live on the island. And nearly 500,000 have made the Keystone State their home state. We are part of the Hispanic American force of 65 million. We Hispanics are part of the soul of this country. We have made a difference, and we will again make a difference in this coming election to bring about much needed change. With everything that is going on and will happen during the final stretch, it's easy to get distracted or misled by propaganda, emotional manipulation, and distortion of the truth and facts. I urge you, thank you. I urge you to watch out and stay focused on what is truly important when you go to cast your vote. We need change, and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are not the option to bring about the kind of change that you need and want, and certainly not the strong leadership that the United States as a nation needs during these times of turmoil. Kamala Harris's harmful record is there to see. She had so many opportunities as VP to improve your lives, even during the first 2 years with full control of the House and the Senate. Without a doubt, she failed to deliver. We don't need to take more empty promises, don't we? We don't need that. We don't need evasive answers to the questions for which we want direct answers. What we need is someone who can and will deliver results for all. Someone who has experience and a proven record of accomplishments, who kept inflation under control, who crafted a prosperous economy, who kept our borders secured, who will again achieve energy independence for the United States, who understands the complexities of the world economy, who can make a deal happen to end the war in Ukraine and bring stability to the Middle East region. And who's that man? That is Donald J. Trump. We need the leadership of Donald J. Trump as our commander-in-chief, and Dave McCormick for a renewed leadership in the United States Senate. Pennsylvanians, American all, a better future is in your hands. Your vote is the most powerful tool you have to bring about change. And for Latinos, dale a Trump la fuerza de tu voto. For those reasons, among many others, I strongly and fully support and endorse Donald J. Trump to be our 47th president, to make America great again, and of course, to make Puerto Rico shine again. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Here we come, here we go. We gotta rock. Easy come, easy go. Now we on top. Feel the shot, body rock, rockin' don't stop. Round and round, up and down, around the clock. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, do it. Friday, Saturday.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage United States Senator Marco Rubio.
Pennsylvania. You guys are the new Florida. You guys are the new Florida. You guys are the new Florida. I bet your TV stations are loving it. You know how many commercials these guys are getting? Are you tired of commercials? Are you ready to vote? Well, we're going to win in Florida, too. And, you know, Florida's not just my home. It's the home of the 45th and soon-to-be 47th President of the United States. Thank you. You know what, this is now my third rally in 5 days, Trump rallies. We were in Nevada, we were in Arizona, we're here with you today. He's not doing many rallies in Florida anymore because he's focused on these places that are so key to victory. But he'll be there on Tuesday night to celebrate his victory if you guys want to come down to Palm Beach County. And you know what strikes me about these rallies that I think is often missed? Is these are happy things. You guys are happy people. You're excited people, right? These are people that are excited about America and excited about its future because of what we're about to do on Tuesday, what you're about to do on Tuesday. And it strikes me, I want to compare that for a moment to what I think it has to be, I think it is, the nastiest, ugliest, most dangerously destructive messaging in a campaign closed in modern American history than what we're seeing out of Kamala Harris in her campaign. This is nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. Just in the last week, she said, you know, this thing with, they're obsessed with this word fascist. You heard them saying these things? And then you have the guy that she picked that they want people to vote for to be the next vice president of the United States, comparing supporters of Donald Trump to the Nazis in Germany. By the way, Hillary Clinton said the exact same thing, the same thing. Like, usually, sorry guys, Joe Biden already took that line. Did you hear him say that? He wants to lock up Donald Trump. But he meant in the political sense. He meant in whatever, you know. Anyways, this stuff is not coming from like random. These are like the guy who wants to be vice president, the failed presidential candidate of 2016. Has she conceded that election yet? I don't think she's conceded 2016. And then MSNBC. I won't forget it. Never mind. I won't even talk about it. My whole point. But this is dangerous, nasty stuff. Really one of the most negative, vile, hate campaigns that I've seen of any candidate in the close. And compare that to the joy and the happiness that we're campaigning on to make sure we elect Donald Trump the next president of the United States. Now, why if you are winning, why if you're so confident you're going to win, why if you're so confident that people are behind you, would you get so vile and so dangerously divisive in the way that they're doing it? Well, because they're desperate, because they know they're going to lose. But most importantly, because what do they not want to talk about? What does she not want this campaign to be about? She wants it to be about fascists. She wants it to be about the smear of Nazism, which is ridiculous. She doesn't want it to be about her record. And if I had her record, I wouldn't want it to be about my record either. What is her record? And here's where we get serious, because this is important. We're talking about the record here, okay? Her record, number one, is she has allowed a migratory crisis where our border's been overrun by not just millions of people from all over the world, but at least 14,000 people that our own government has told us are convicted killers and murderers and dangerous criminals in their own country. And you know, they like to They like to spark up outrage. Here's what people should be outraged by. Here's what I'm outraged by. Here's what I'm sure you're outraged by. I'm outraged about what happened to a young lady named Jocelyn Nugre. She was 12 years old. Okay? She was abducted. She was tortured. She was murdered. And she was dumped in a ditch by members of the Tren de Aragua gang that were allowed into this country under the Harris administration and released into our streets under this administration. That's a record. That's what they want to focus. That's what they don't want to focus on. What about Kayla Hamilton? A young 20-year-old woman who worked very hard to overcome autism, was finally finding her way in the world. She was strangled to death in her home with a phone cord by members of an MS-13 gang, allowed into this country illegally, released into the streets under this administration. That's the record. That's the record. That's the record. The record is about destroying our economy, completely destroying our economy. Today, 2 out of 3 Americans, over 66%, say they're living paycheck to paycheck, at least paycheck to paycheck. There are some people that are getting paid on Friday, and they run out of money by Monday because everything costs so much. That's the record. The record is a 60% increase in small business bankruptcies. That's the record. The record is a world that's broken out into wars and chaos that threatens to pull us in, that threaten to pull our young men and women into armed conflict around the world. That's their record. So of course they don't want to run on their record. Of course they want to run on all these other things and create these distractions, but we will not allow it. We'll continue to tell the truth, and the American people will know that truth, and you will see it on Tuesday night when we see the votes come in. You know the most outrageous thing, perhaps of all? With a record like this, she was asked in an interview, she was asked, would you do anything different? Okay? Migratory crisis, the murder of innocent Americans by people in this country illegally, allowing criminals into the country like that, the destruction of our economy, the world falling apart, and they asked her, would you do anything differently? And her say, I can't think of anything. That's it. That should be our campaign commercial right there. Let me segue here for just a moment, if you'll allow me, please, because there's media here that covers the news in Spanish. I'd like to say a few things in Spanish, and primarily because I like the way I say it a lot better than the translator does. Le quiero hablar a los hispanos de Pennsylvania y del país, porque hemos llegado a ese momento en una campaña sumamente importante, una campaña de gran importancia para el futuro de este país y para el futuro de su familia. Aquí lo que está en juego es muy serio. Tenemos una crisis migratoria y este es un país de inmigrantes. Siempre se ha celebrado la inmigración legal, pero lo que tenemos es una crisis migratoria en que criminales se han infiltrado dentro de este país. ¿Y dónde van estos criminales? Van a nuestras comunidades a hacer daño, van a nuestras comunidades a aterrorizar a poblaciones y a personas inocentes. Eso es el récord de esta administración. Tenemos una crisis económica. El costo de la vida está acabando con el bolsillo de los trabajadores en este país. Los pequeños comerciantes que no pueden funcionar, que están yendo a la quiebra bajo esta administración. Estamos viviendo en un mundo que se ha vuelto en llamas, en fuego. They understood en fuego, right? De fuego. Fire, it's on fire. Un mundo que nos amenaza con una guerra. ¿Y quién ustedes creen que van a tener que pelear en una guerra si sigue así? Sus hijos, sus nietos, nuestro futuro. Esa es la realidad y por eso que van a tratar de distraerlos con todo tipo de distracción. Hablando tonterías y boberías y nombretes y lo demás. No permitan que eso ocurra. Aquí lo que está en juego es el futuro de este país. Y interesantemente, y esto pasa en todas las elecciones, salen artistas y cantantes y actores, tienen todo el derecho a apoyar a quien quieran ellos apoyar. Pero ellos no tienen que preocuparse del costo de la vida. Ellos no tienen que preocuparse de que los vayan a asaltar, ellos tienen protección, pero ustedes sí. No permitan que quiten el enfoque sobre lo que importa en esta campaña y lo que importa es lo siguiente. Si Kamala Harris gana, nuestro futuro es un futuro de pobreza, inseguridad y guerra. Pero si Donald Trump es nuestro próximo presidente, nuestro futuro es un futuro de prosperidad, de seguridad y de paz. I love giving in Spanish because it's so much more passionate in Spanish. Did it come across that way a little bit more? And in case you want, basically what I said is I saved a bunch of money by switching to Geico. In case you're wondering what I was talking about. All right. So, all right. So we have this campaign of all this irresponsible talk and trying to distract us from the issues that matter. And at the end of the day, this is the campaign of dangerous hate and division. Compare that to what Donald Trump is talking about. Here's what he's talking about. Donald Trump is saying, these people destroyed your economy, elect me your president, and I will fix it. That's what he's talking about. That matters to you. Donald Trump is saying these people opened our border. They've allowed criminals from all over the world to pour into our country and terrorize innocent Americans. But if you elect him president, he will close that border, he will stop that insecurity, and he will make Americans his priority. And Donald Trump is saying the world, since Joe Biden took over and Kamala Harris was there for all of this, has gone crazy. We were humiliated by the Taliban in Afghanistan. Run out in shame. Innocent, actually brave men and women in uniform lost their lives in that shameful retreat under Joe Biden. And since that moment, the world has spun completely out of control. And you know what Donald Trump is saying? When he's president, that ends. Our enemies will know we're strong, and that will bring about peace and avoid war. You know, here's an observation I think you probably share, and if you're watching and looking in the audience tonight, you'll see it. I see it right now. Donald J. Trump has put together the most fascinating, most diverse coalition of Americans from every race, every ethnicity, every walk of life in American political, modern American political history. It's unbelievable. By the way, I don't go to a lot of Democrat rallies, but I don't think they break out in chants of USA. For whatever reason. But look, he's put together this incredible coalition. Oftentimes, if you'll be at a Trump rally and like the speaker before you would disagree with them on 20% of the issues. Another person, you know, different background. Maybe they were from a different party. He's got people that used to be Democrats that have left the Democratic Party because they're not insane and they don't want to be part of an insane movement. Okay, he has, but ultimately, if you think about this extraordinary coalition of support, which is really fascinating, what is it that unites them? The answer is not just love for our country, but we are tired. We are tired of being a country where everything is bad news. We're tired of being a country constantly in fear of what's next, what's going to happen now, some other bad headline about something happening bad in the world, and we can't do anything about it, or bad headlines about what's coming next in our economy, or bad headlines about things are going to cost more and you just have to put up with it. People are tired. They want to be hopeful again. They want to be joyful again. They want to believe in a prosperous America again. They want a better future again. That's what unites us. That is the glue that holds this coalition together. By the way, it reminds us, too, that American, and I said this at a convention, American has never been a skin color. American has never been where your parents were born. American, anyone who comes here legally, works hard. I was blessed to be born a citizen of this country. Others chose to be Americans because they love this country so deeply. But American is anyone who is here, who wants to move this country forward and believes that our rights come from God, family is more important than government, and that this is the greatest country in the history of the world. That's America. That's what we mean. And so we are gathered here today as Americans who love their country and are ready to claim its future, the kind of future our children deserve. A nation that's hopeful, a nation that's optimistic, a nation that's confronting its challenges and fixing its problems so our children can have what we had. The greatest country in the history of the world, the strongest country in the history of the world, the best country in the history of the world. And so they run on Nazis and fascism, and we run on that, because that's what matters, and that's what Donald Trump is campaigning on. And the eyes of the country are upon you here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. They truly are. We're going to be watching what happens here, because everyone knows that how it goes here is probably how this election is going to turn out. At this extraordinary moment in our history, you've been given the blessing and the opportunity not just to save our country, but to write the next great chapter in the story of a great country. And you can do that. You can do that by electing a new U.S. Senator in Dave McCormick. And you can do that by making Donald J. Trump our president again. And if you help make Donald J. Trump our president again, together with him, we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you.
In this context, there's no disrespect, so when I bust my rhyme, you break your necks. We got 5 minutes for us to disconnect from all intellect and let the rhythm effect. To lose the inhibition, follow your intuition, free your inner soul and break away from tradition. Cause when we be out, girl, it's fully be that. You wouldn't believe how we wow shit out. Turn it till it's burned out, turn it till it's turned out. Act up from Northwest East Side. Everybody, let's get into it. Get stupid, get it started, get it started, get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah. Lose control, our body and soul. Don't move too fast, people just take it slow. Don't get ahead, just jump into it. Y'all hear about it? The bees will do it. Get started, get stupid. Don't worry about it, people will walk you through it step by step like an infant new kid. Inch by inch with a new solution. Transmit hits with no delusion. The feeling's irresistible and that's how we move it. Everybody, let's get into it. Get stupid, get started, get it started, get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah. Come on, let's get it.
can't begin to know him, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching hand, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two, and when burden runs off my shoulders, how can I hurt when holding you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good time.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Up, down, up, down. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. Know what they saying, Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Luda-yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving, tight like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out, y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts, accountants count me in. Make millions every year, the South's champion. Cause all I do, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Up, down, up, down. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Swerving in my low, head on a swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Tell Cali, back it up, my niggas call me loco. Down for armed trafficking, don't make me pull that fofo. Ask you what you laughing at, represent that mud life. Dirty money, bitch, you better get your mud right. We come together holding hands and holler hood life. We all strapping all black, it's like Bud Light.
All we do is win.
You riding to what? Cause we riding tonight. Now you riding with me cause you wasn't riding
all
no
I do
right
is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Up, down, up, down. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Heat in the kitchen, hot on the stove, water getting boiled, dope being sold, Snoopy in the hootie, system overload. I've been running this rap game since I was 20 years old. I hung with the worst of them, bust till I burst them up, floss them up, toss them up, harder when I close them up. Pardon me, I'm bossing up, brace you up, bless you, bro, don't mess with us. We like the youth in the 80s, back to back, set a track, hit the lick, get it back, get the trick, jump the track, bitch, I want my money back. Time and time again, while I'm sipping on this gin, Al Davis said it best, just win, baby, win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a Nissan Rogue, a black Nissan Rogue, license plate Massachusetts 3ZLY83, please report to your car immediately on Linden Street. Again, a black Nissan Rogue, Massachusetts license plate 3ZLY83. Please respond to your car immediately. Thank you.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Up, down, up, down. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. Know what they saying, Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Luda-yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving, tight like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me Accountants count me in. Make millions every year. The South's champion. Cause all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Up, down, cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Swerving in my low, head on a swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Tell Cali, back it up, my niggas call me loco. Down for armed trafficking, don't make me pull that fofo. Ask you what you laughing at, represent that mud life. Dirty money, bitch, you better get your mug right. We come together, holding hands and holler good life. We all strapping all black, it's like Bud Light.
All we do is win.
You riding to what? Cause we riding tonight. Now you riding with me cause you wasn't riding no right.
Win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Up, down, cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Heat in the kitchen, hot on the stove, water getting boiled, dope being sold, Snoopy in the hootie, system overload. I've been running this rap game since I was 20 years old. I hung with the worst of them, bust till I burst them up, floss them up, toss them up, harder when I cross them up. Pardon me, I'm bossing up, brace you up, bless you, bro, don't mess with us. We like the youth in the 80s, back to back, set a track, hit the lick, get it back, get the trick, jump the track, bitch, I want my money back. Time and time again, while I'm sipping on this gin, Al Davis said it best, just win, baby, win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building,
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. You see, man made the car to take us over the road. Man made the train, carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolytes to take us out of the dark. And man made the boat of the water. Like my Bible said, Noah made the ark. This is a man's world. Ow! But it wouldn't be nothing about a woman or a girl.
L'uomo rincorre il potere ma lui non sa
and a baby boy. Man make them happy because man make them toys. But after man made everything he can, man make lira, pesos, dollars, rubles, and buy from every good woman and every man. Oh, this is a man's world. But when we he's lost. Man's world. In the wilderness, it's a man's world. He's lost.
E non si accorge che poi con la più senza te si vive solo per sé, solo per sé, solo per sé.
This is a man's world.
Quando sono sola sogno all'orizzonte mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre mostra tutto il mio cuore che è acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che ho incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e nessuno con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò sulla via per mare che io lo so non esistono più. It's time to say goodbye.
Quando sei lontana sogno all'orizzonte manca le parole. E io sì lo so che sei con me, tu mia luna, tu sei qui con me, mio sole, tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage attorney and senior advisor to President Donald J. Trump, Alina Habba.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Up, down, 'cause all I do is win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make 'em stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, 'cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, beat them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. Know what they saying, Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Ludayak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down.
Allentown, Pennsylvania. 7 days, everybody. Now, my little sister went to a little school called Muhlenberg. And I happen to be a graduate of the great Lehigh University. So it feels good to be back to a place I called home for a while. I love you, Pennsylvania. I miss it here. I miss it here. We've got 7 days to save our babies from the complete corruption and destruction of the Harris-Biden regime. Are you ready to vote and get this done? I happen to be here with the greatest president that America has ever seen, who is right behind that curtain. You see, when I went to college, back in 2002, I'm getting old. Hey, guys, what up? When I went to college, I didn't realize that I was getting educated to go to law school to learn about something called the Constitution, which is something that they don't seem to give a damn about. And I have had the greatest privilege over the last 3.5 years representing President Trump in what has been the utmost lawfare, witch hunts, and DOJ corruption from the top all the way down. And they thought they were going to stop my president, but guess what they did? They made us stronger. Because Americans are not stupid. We see what you're doing. We got the memo. And your games are getting old. So now it is time to talk about a couple things that are very important, because if there is anybody undecided, which right now it's looking like Pennsylvania looks very red to me. It does. But if there is anybody even a little bit undecided, I want you to look at a couple things. I am a mom. I have 3 beautiful children. And my daughter said to me, Mom, I have a really good campaign message for you. I said, what is it, honey? She called me yesterday. She said, your next speech, just say, if you want a leader that loves America, that loves children, and that loves God, vote for President Trump. And if you want to turn into North Korea, vote for Kamala Harris. That's from my 9-year-old. See, I don't believe in open borders. I believe in fair immigration, because my parents are also first generation. I am a first generation American, and I am so proud. But I was given this opportunity to speak to those people that have come here from third world countries. If we do not take care of our borders, if we do not take care of our children, if we stop bribing America with garbage loan forgiveness that ends up costing us at the end, and if we do not protect women and uplift them, that President Trump has uplifted me, we will have no country. So, I need you to go to Swamp the Vote. I need you to make sure you are voting. Make sure you take your friends, your family, your grandma, your cousin. Vote for President Trump, and let's save this great nation. God bless Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Swerving in my low, head on a swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman Wesley Hunt.
Man, we lit up your world like the 4th of July. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue
Frederick Douglass famously said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. For those who profess freedom yet depreciate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. The struggle may be a moral one or a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical, but there must be a struggle. For power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. He began that quote by saying, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. We have struggled mightily for the past 4 years, and Donald John Trump will be our progress. I hail from Houston, Texas. I'm a combat veteran. I'm a former Apache pilot. I flew 55 combat air missions in Baghdad, and I tell you what, I know a fighter when I see one. And the brave men and women here, along with President Trump, we are fighters. President Trump is our fighter. I want America to know something. This is not about black people. This is not about white people. It's not about Hispanic people or Asian people. This is about my fellow Americans stepping up in the most crucial election in our lifetimes. Do not let them call us fascists. Do not let them call us Nazis. Do not let them call us racist. The only thing that we want is our great nation back. And when I'm in rooms like this, the only thing I see are my fellow Americans, my fellow patriots. If you're sick at what's happening at our southern border, if you're sick at what we're seeing with our economy, if you are sick of being on the verge of World War III, well, guess what? I have a solution for you. It is President Trump. And on November the 5th, we will, as a nation, take our country back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our fighter. This election runs right through your state. We need every single brave patriot in this state to show up and vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it's all we've got. And together, we as a nation on November the 5th, we will make America great again. May God bless you, and may God bless these United States of America. Thank you so much.
Put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be hell when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell, and it'll feel like the whole wide world is raining down on you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the Republican National Committee, Chairman Michael Whatley.
Pennsylvania. How we doing tonight, Allentown? You guys ready to welcome the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America? You know, when we look at this election cycle and we talk about battleground states, we talk about the states that really matter. A lot of conversation about Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan. But there is no state that matters more than Pennsylvania. And when we talk about how to win a battleground state, it really comes down to a couple of pretty simple concepts. We're going to get out the vote, and we are going to protect the ballot. Now, I know that a lot of you today have seen these videos of people being turned away at the polls in places like Delaware County and Bucks County. And last night, we even saw one of our great local leaders, Val Biancaniello, arrested at the polls for telling people to stay in line. All she was doing was telling folks, stay and vote. They took her away in handcuffs. Folks, here's what's happening. Democrat election officials are seeing our numbers. They're seeing our turnout. They are seeing us breaking early vote records across Pennsylvania. They are terrified, and they want to stop our momentum. We are not going to let them suppress our votes. We are going to fight. I'm proud tonight to tell you that the Trump-Vance campaign has just filed a huge lawsuit against Bucks County for turning away our voters. We are going to fight this thing in court, and all we ask of you is to stay in line. Donald Trump needs your votes. Donald Trump needs Pennsylvania, and America needs Pennsylvania. We are going to swamp the vote, and we are not going to let the Democrats stop us. 9 years ago, Donald Trump came down that escalator at Trump Tower and said that he was going to make America great again by protecting our southern border, by rebuilding our economy and making sure that America was strong enough to protect our interests and our allies around the world. Tonight, at the end of that road, as we enter the last 7 days before this election, Donald Trump is still fighting every single day for every single American and every single family and every single voter. Kamala Harris, our borders are. Who led the way in dismantling the most secure southern border we've ever had and ushering 10 to 15 to 20 million illegal immigrants into the United States and make Pennsylvania a border state. Kamala Harris, who cast the tie-breaking vote on $2.5 trillion worth of unnecessary, unneeded, inflationary spending that sent your gasoline prices through the roof, your grocery prices through the roof, your housing prices through the roof. Kamala Harris, who went to a confab with all the European leaders and told President Putin, do not invade Ukraine. 5 days later, he invaded Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, America is weak, And when America is weak, the world is a more dangerous place. We need a strong president. We need a president like Donald J. Trump, who on day one is going to secure our southern border. We need a president like Donald J. Trump, who on day one is going to end inflationary spending. He's going to unleash Pennsylvania energy, and he's going to bring your prices down. And we need a president like Donald Trump, who is going to stand up for our allies like Israel and our interests across the world. And he's going to stand up to bullies like Russia and Iran and China. And we need a president who is strong like Donald Trump, who will get up off the stage like this one after he's been shot and let everybody know he's okay and tell him to fight, fight, fight. So thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for your support. And thank you. Because of you, we are going to carry Pennsylvania. We are going to expand our majority in the House. We are going to send Dave McCormick to the Senate and flip that Senate. And we are going to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House as our 47th president.
The unit I was attached to, we were the forward element. It was the 100-hour war, so the first 2 days we saw a lot of action. When the war was over and they flew us back to North Carolina at Camp Lejeune because we were reservists that were activated to active duty, and we were supposed to get on a plane to go home and see our families. Somebody had messed something up to where the plane didn't arrive. There was 295 of us. Nobody was telling us anything, and we had no way of contacting, there was no cell phones. Everybody was at the airport, so there was no way of contacting them to let them know that we weren't coming. And then they broke the news to us that we were gonna have to go back to the barracks, and they didn't know when we would be able to fly home because no plane showed up for us. And then all of a sudden, the major, he comes out and he goes, we might have a chance to go home, boys. There's a billionaire that he heard that we were stranded, and he sent his plane. It's not big enough to hold all of us, but what they're gonna do is they're gonna fly half of us down to Miami. It's gonna fuel up, come back, and pick up the other half. So then the plane pulled up, and there was a name on the side of the plane. And so who was this billionaire? Donald J. Trump.
When I first came into office, I cut taxes more than any other president. We have created 7 million new jobs, and it led to a growth like we've never seen before. We developed the greatest economy in history by far. When I left office, it changed. Inflation destroyed the lives of so many people. Interest rates went from 2% to 10%. Millions of illegal immigrants, traffickers, and drugs coming into our country. Our country has gone to hell. So I made a decision to run. We're going to make America great again, greater than ever before. I will fight for you with every breath, and I will never let you down. I'm gonna fight like a G, they all gon' see, and if I die, I'm gonna die free.
President Trump is literally putting his life on the line, and he's willing to risk it all because he loves this country.
He is strong, he is fearless, and he is what this country needs right now.
Our cities will be safe, our streets will be clean, and our border will be secure.
We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future.
The left told me to hate Trump. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger.
So if you love this country, if you want to stand up and fight for the future of our nation, you must re-elect Donald J. Trump.
gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. An American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. What a crowd this is. Look at this. These are incredible people. You're incredible people. Unbelievable. So many people outside would like to let them in. Would anybody like to give up their seat or their standing area? Well, a very special hello to Allentown, a great place, and hello, Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible Commonwealth with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. But I'd like to begin with a very, very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I don't think so. I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote this election, oh, do I look forward to this election? Do we look? I'm going to say we, because we're going to do it as a group. Look, Mr. Wall over here, he's the greatest guy. I want to buy one of those suits. We will end inflation. We will stop the invasion of criminals into our country. And we will bring back the American dream. We're doing it together, Pennsylvania. Our country will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before. This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years of gross incompetence and failure, the worst administration in the history of our country. Jimmy Carter is a happy man. Jimmy Carter looks like a brilliant, brilliant president by comparison. Or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to turn it around, and we're going to turn it around fast. I'm asking you to be excited about the future again. You have to be excited about the future.
They've taken all that excitement away from you. They've embarrassed us. They've embarrassed us. Kamala has embarrassed us. She doesn't have what it takes. I'm asking you to dream big again. You're going to dream big, and this is going to be a very special time. It's going to be America's new golden age. We're going to make it a golden age. It seems impossible, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem impossible with these stupid people that we've had to put up with over the last 4 years? We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We were energy independent 4 years ago. Every problem facing us can be solved, but now the fate of our nation is in your hands. It's in your hands. If we win Pennsylvania, we're going to win the whole deal. Got to do it. Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough. You're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out of here. You're fired. You're fired. Get the hell out of here. You were a terrible VP, but you were an even worse border czar. How about our border czar? And Border Patrol last week endorsed me with the strongest endorsement they've ever given. And they said that she was unfit to run the border. Can you imagine? I said, how many times did she call you in 4 years? Almost 4 years. They said, she never called us once. I said, how about you? No, she never called. She never called any of us, sir. Never called us. She was the border czar, but she never called. She's incompetent. She's incompetent. We've set an all-time record in the early voting, by the way, so if you have a mail-in ballot, get that damn ballot in, please, immediately, because they've already started cheating in Lancaster. They've cheated. We caught them with 2,600 votes. No, we caught them cold. 2,600 votes. Think of this. Think of this. And every vote was written by the same person. I wonder how that happened. It must be a coincidence. It must be a coincidence. And then in York, I know York because I used to be a big weightlifter. Then after about 3 days, I decided to give it up. It wasn't for me. That's where they had all the weights, right? They had the weights. I built that room. I loved building it. I enjoyed it so much. Then we put the weights down, and I said, I don't like that. That's no fun. I like building the room. I just didn't like lifting the weights. But York, they had a great bodybuilder. This was the bodybuilding capital of the world, right? Isn't it? Yeah. I wanted to be here as a contestant one day. I just didn't want to do the work. It's too much work. We had enough to do. But if not, get everyone you know to the polls on November 5th, and you have to vote, vote, vote. We got to vote. We got to get these people out of there. We got to vote fast. Today they're busing people. You know, they're in a place in Washington, and they got buses all up. They're busing people because they couldn't get anybody to show up for her tonight. I didn't bus anybody. You're all here. This place is packed. She can't get anybody. 3 days ago, she said Beyonce was coming. So people came to see Beyonce, but Beyonce went up, thank you very much, everybody, and then she left. She didn't sing. And then they all left. She was speaking, nobody, and they were booing the hell out of her, by the way. And the fake news doesn't report those stories. That's a lot. No, that's a lot. Look at that. See, we must be coming. That is a lot of fake news. When they lose their final ounce of credibility, they'll probably turn good again because they're losing so much credibility. Do you know when I first started running, their approval rating, the very beginning, before maybe I even started, it was like 92% favorable rating. You know what it is now? 12%. I drove it down like almost 90 points. I drove it down numbers. I'm very proud of it. I've exposed them as being fake. But with your help, 1 week from today, we're going to defeat Kamala Harris and the media. And we're going to win back that beautiful, beautiful White House, and we're going to make America great again. In less than 4 years, Kamala has shattered our middle class. You notice I don't mention Joe, Crooked Joe. He's so crooked, it's hard to believe. Because they basically took the presidency away from me. You know, they just walked up and said, "You're not running anymore." I don't use the word coup. It's too Frenchy sounding for me. No, they just took it away. I like that better. They took it away. They walked in, they said, no, he had a rough debate. I would say it was rough. But after the debate, he went down very big. And, you know, he should have been allowed. He got 14 million votes. She got no votes. She was the first one. Look at that front row, Joe. This guy, these guys are unbelievable. They follow me. They follow me all over the place. But he's in the second row. What the hell happened to you tonight? Front row Joe that's a big story. The press is going to get you. He's a great guy. They're patriots. The front row Joes and the ladies from North Carolina, they've been here 259 times, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. And we have Mr. Wall. I'm going to buy one day, I'm going to buy that suit, but I don't have that much time left because hopefully we're going to win, and then we're not going to be playing games anymore. We got to straighten out our country, so we're going to be meeting, but a different forum. We're going to be meeting as I tell you how well we're doing, how we're winning. We're going to win big. We had the best economy in history. We're going to make it much better than even that. We're going to bring all these companies that left us because of stupid politicians on our side. They allowed it to happen. They're all coming back. Either that or they're going to have to pay tariffs like they never had to even think about before. Kamala cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation of your lifetime. I believe it's the worst inflation in the history of our country because they don't show the real. It's like, did you see about a month ago, they came up with 818,000 jobs that were fake. They put them in. These are cheaters. And today they got caught. Think of it. They got caught cheating in Lancaster County. They got caught in York, but it's no different. Think of it. They put in 818,000 fraudulent jobs. So the job reports came out and said, oh, they're doing pretty good. That's good. That's good. And they weren't going to adjust. You know, you adjust when you find out that somebody was a fraud. You adjust. And they weren't going to do it until right after the election. But we had a whistleblower that blew the whistle on them. Really dishonored. You know, I always say we meet to decide where we're going to campaign, what we're going to say, how we're going to... They meet, how can we cheat? This is their meeting. Because who the hell can win an election with open borders, transgender everybody, men playing in women's sports? No, think of it. Men's... Allow millions of people through an open border, totally unvetted, totally unchecked. They come from parts unknown. They come from countries you've never even heard of, and then you find out that they came from jails and mental institutions. No, they cheat like hell, and it's a damn disgrace. So we're going to get it straightened out. We got to get it straightened out. No, they caught us in Pennsylvania. We haven't seen it elsewhere, but we've seen it. And by the way, just to feel good, I don't like to speak too early, but you have to get out and vote because we need that real, we want a big, beautiful number. We're leading in every single swing state. Because normally Republicans, they like to vote at the end. No matter what you say, they like to vote at the end. They like to be there on Tuesday where they can watch it actually go into that beautiful, often corrupt machine. No, we're going to get it straightened out. Kamala cost the typical American family over $30,000 in higher prices because of their ridiculous inflation. And listen to this, they killed 50,000 manufacturing jobs just this year alone. They're killing our country. And Scott Bessent, one of the biggest and best, one of the most brilliant. Oh, look at that, they know him. It's not a huge amount of people, it's pretty good. Whoa. Oh, wow. Scott Bessent, he's one of the great Wall Street analysts, considered one of the best. He said, the economy is no good, but the stock market is only going up for one reason, because everyone thinks that Trump is going to win the election and we're going to take it to new levels, they say. That's what he said. It's true. You want to see a market crash? If we lost this election, I think the market would go down the tubes. Now Kamala, she says, God forbid. God forbid. I like you. Who are you? Stand up. I like this woman. Thank you. God forbid. Thank you, darling. She's got a lot of spunk, doesn't she? Thank you, darling. She said, I say, if we lose this, and she starts screaming, God forbid. Do you think she's voting for Trump? I think so. Thank you. Thank you, darling. You are something. We have the greatest people, don't we? Greatest people. The other day, Madison Square Garden on Sunday night, and we had them all. That was the greatest evening anyone's seen politically. I mean, Madison Square Garden is really big. It's big, and it's beautiful, and it's MSG, and the Dolan family, Jim Dolan, they were so nice. They said they've never seen a crowd like this. The thing went all the way back to the river. And I don't mean like single line or doubles. I mean like massive amounts of people went back to the Hudson River. The love was unbelievable. We had Elon. We had incredible people. Elon. You know, Elon Musk has been campaigning every single day in Pennsylvania. He's a great guy. You know, when that rocket landed last week, I saw that rocket land. I said, this guy, if that's his, I got to call him. I said, was that yours? He said, that was mine. That sucker came back down. I thought there was something wrong. I told people I was on the phone with somebody. I put it down. I forgot about the guy. He was a very important guy. 45 minutes later, he's still holding up. Are you still holding? I said, I got to watch this. Excuse me. And I saw it come down, and it looked like in big trouble, right? It came down. It was all beautiful white when it lifted off, and now it's coming down. It's dark black because of the heat. 10,000 miles. Think of that, 10,000 miles an hour, as opposed to we drive at 50 or 60, right? 10,000 miles an hour. The heat is so hot you couldn't even get near it. You couldn't touch it. It's coming down, and now it's baked. Totally different looking machine, right? And it's coming in. And it's going to crash. I'm saying, oh, no. It's going right next to the gantry. It's coming down at an angle. I don't like that. It's not good. But what the hell do I know? It's up to Elon, not me, but it's coming. And then all of a sudden you see the fire and the jets go in the bottom and fire's ripping the, ripping it apart. Ripping it. And the fire's just ripping the bottom of it and pushing it away. It was right next to ripping the whole gantry down. The whole thing was going to come crashing down. And those jets went off and the flames and I never saw anything like it. And it straightened it out. Then it came in, those beautiful arms came and they hugged it like you would hug your little beautiful baby. Like you'd hug a baby, see? I stay away from the other thing that you hug on occasion. No, it's like you're hugging your beautiful baby, just hugged it right in there. So I call him, I say, that was you, wasn't it? Yeah, that was me. Can Russia do it? No. Can China do it? No.
Can the U.S. do it other than you? No, nobody can do that. I've never seen anything like it. I said, so why do you do that? That was a stupid question. Why do you do that? Well, you know, it costs about $1 billion to build the sucker. It's nice when you don't drop it into the ocean and have to start over. It's nice to be able to use it about 30 times more, right? No, he's a fantastic guy, and he's a part. He gave me the best endorsement virtually of anybody. He said, if Trump doesn't win, our country is gone. Think of it. Think of it. And he's campaigning. You know, he put on the black hat, right? Now, I never even knew we sold the black hat. The red hat, yes. The white hat, yes. But I never knew we had a black hat. And see, he's just a different kind of a guy. And he has a black hat, and it says, Make America Great Again, but it's also in black. So it's very... So I said, where'd you get the hat? He said, it's dark MAGA. That was the name. And he wore it to Butler. We had 107,000 people in Butler. Can you imagine? We had 107,000 people in Butler celebrating the life of a great gentleman, a great fireman, Corey, a great firefighter and respected guy. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing. 107,000 people. And they came from all over. I mean, it was, you know, because it's not a very sparsely populated, you know, it is sparsely populated. And it's not lots of people there. And, man, you couldn't see the end of the cars. You couldn't see the end of the crowd. It was so beautiful. The whole thing was beautiful. We had the opera singer there. We had the bells. I said, we're going to do a moment of silence. Give us some bells. Okay, sir, we'll try buying them. And they couldn't buy like the bell. The biggest bell they could buy was like that. I said, no, the bells of Notre Dame. They say, we can't get them here, sir. They're too heavy. They're too heavy. They happen to be taken right now. I said, no, just get them off the internet. Don't worry about it. And it's amazing what you can get off the internet. We had the bells playing, and then we had Christopher. We had the great opera singer. He's a great singer. He's a great voice. And he sang Ave Maria. And the whole place, I'm looking at 107,000 people. I would say 100,000 of them were crying. And the other 7 are beyond, you know, they're too tough for me. I don't like those 7,000. Everybody was crying, and it was a beautiful thing. But Elon's wearing the black hat, and the good news is this: we didn't sell any. He was the only one that bought one. After that weekend, you know what? We sold 10,000 black hats the following day. Can you believe it? There was a run on black hats. Boy, do we have great congressmen and senators here today. This guy Rubio is pretty good, isn't he, though? Huh? I watched him in the plane coming in, and I wanted him to speak again. I said, they don't mind hearing you twice. That's how good you are, Marco. But at a minimum, Marco, when it's your time, I'm going to bring you up and shake your hand, because he has been a great senator, and he's a great guy. True. It's true. He's a great guy. Smart guy. He's a smart guy. Sometimes he's a little too smart. He's a good guy. He's a good man. Thank you, Marco. Now, Kamala wants to raise the typical family's taxes, by the way. You know, every time she does a commercial, she lies. She's a real liar. She's worse than Crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary was a liar. Remember? Remember? Irredeemable. What was the word before irredeemable? Right? I thought irredeemable was going to be the bad word, right? Little did I know. Little did I know. But Crooked Hillary used to lie a lot, but she's nothing compared to Kamala. And the difference is Crooked Hillary is much smarter, but she suffers from a major case of Trump derangement syndrome. Now, she's got big, they all do. Well, these Democrats were driving them crazy. We don't like them because they don't love our country. Now Kamala wants to raise the typical family's taxes by nearly $3,000 a year and impose a 33% tax hike on all domestic production. And she wants to get rid of, you know, I gave you something that's great. If you're a small farmer, if you're a business owner, a small business owner, estate taxes were killing you because you pass away if you love your child, I would say don't even bother listening. If you love your child, good. If you don't love your child, it doesn't matter. Then don't leave the stuff. But if you wanted to leave your estate to your beautiful kids, which most families, does anybody in here not love their child or their children? I've only had one hand raised, and about 20 times I asked that. And people beat that person up. They actually went after him. That guy was in bad shape. And because I actually think he meant it. No, but you know what? They want to get rid of the estate tax. So you have no estate tax to pay if you leave your farm to your kids, if you leave your business to your kids. You have no estate tax to pay. She wants to get rid of that. She doesn't like that. And you know what was happening, especially with the farmers, because they leave their beautiful farm and it's it's got asset value, but it's a hard kind of a business, but a beautiful business. And they'd leave, think of it, they'd leave their farm, and then the kids have to go out and they had to borrow money because you had like a 50% tax. So they appraise it, you have to go out, borrow money. And they end up always like 80%, 82% of the time or something, they end up losing the farm. It turns out to be a nightmare. I got rid of the estate tax or the death tax, so you don't have that anymore. And she wants to get rid of that. She's a tough guy. She's a tough one. She destroyed the city of San Francisco, it's one of the greatest cities of the world. She destroyed it, and she worked with Gavin Newsom, one of the worst governors in history, to destroy California. And we're not going to let her destroy the United States of America. We're not going to let her. If Kamala gets 4 more years, your family will never, ever recover. And by the way, Michelle Obama was very nasty to me. Ooh. Oh, she was nasty. I've gone out of my way to be nice to Michelle. I've gone out of my way to be nice to Michelle. Never said a bad thing about her when other people didn't like her so much. And she hit me the other day because they're desperate. They don't want Trump back because we're going to turn this country around and show how bad they were and how incompetent they were. But she hit me. Now, the fake news doesn't care about that. But if I hit her, they'll say, oh, what a horrible thing it was. She can hit me. She can go and she can say whatever the hell she wants. If I hit her just a little tiny bit, oh, he's a bully. He's a bully. Nah, she shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Right, Mr. Wall? Can't do that. Can't do that stuff. If I win, we will quickly build the greatest economy in the history of the world. We will rapidly defeat inflation, and very simply, we will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again. I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. Right? And I've just announced that I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one. You know, these people are just not recognized. If they had to go through the hospital system, the people they're caring for, we wouldn't have hospitals. You could build hospitals every day in America. You wouldn't have enough. They take care of our country. They really do. And we're going to get them a big, beautiful tax credit. And they do it with love. No hospital could do the job. They do it with love. They have great love, and they take care of people, and they're entitled to it. They're entitled to it. They can't go out and work. They can't do it. They have to watch, and they have to stay home. Oftentimes, it's a beautiful but wounded soldier. Soldiers come back, and they're in bad shape, and their mother or their wife. Their wife sometimes is incredible. Call them angels. They're angels that do this. The mothers, they take care of them. They have to take care of them, and we would have no hospital system that could do it. So they're entitled to it, right? We got so many other things we can do. We don't need that. We don't need that. You know, we have so much liquid gold down there. We'll drill so much. We'll knock the hell out of everything with that. I will also restore the SALT tax deduction. I don't know if you know what that means, but just trust me, it's a good thing. Most people have no idea. They say, what is SALT? You don't want to know about it. It's a big deduction, and your state got
pretty battered by it. And we're going to restore it for you and for New York and for some other places. Starting on day one of my new administration, I will end Kamala's war on Pennsylvania energy. And we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. I've only seen her 100 times saying, we will never frack again. We will never. We are going to stop fracking. We're not going to frack, 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 frack. We're not going to frack. We're never going to frack again. Then her polls, drop to you only have 500,000 jobs in Pennsylvania. And the income is like, you can never replace it. So she sees the polls. I think fracking would be a wonderful idea. She's such a phony. It makes you sick. And she's also crushing your energy industry with the vicious natural gas export ban. You're under this ban. It's the craziest thing. And it's costing your state a lot of money. Now, with me, one thing I'll never be stopping fracking. You know that. I've been very consistent for about 25 years. Drilling and fracking is good. I was with somebody from Saudi Arabia recently, one of the top people. I said, when you buy the 150 planes that you just bought, magnificent Boeing 777s, I said, where do you get your financing? He looks at me, financing? He didn't know what financing was. They don't finance, they have money. We have more oil and gas than they do. And you know what? If you include Anwar in Alaska, it's the biggest oil find in the world, as big as Saudi Arabia. And I opened it. Reagan couldn't get it done. He worked so hard. Nobody could get it done. I got it done. And this guy, the biggest in the world, as big, they say, maybe as Saudi Arabia. And we could have taken care of all of Asia. We would have made so much money. This guy comes in. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Where am I? Can't even find the stairs off a platform. And he tells you, no, he can't. Look, stair, like 4 stairs behind us. If you have to, you could jump off the front. You could probably. The guy can never find his way off. Secret Service has to come up and take him off. It's terrible. I will terminate the Green New scam, and I will cut your energy prices in half within 12 months. Going to be cut in half. And to bring back millions of jobs, we will give our companies the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs, the lowest regulatory burdens, and free access to the best and biggest market on the planet. The problem is, if we had more of these idiots running our country, you won't have a big and best market anymore, because we're a nation in decline. We're going to turn that around. So you're going to be so proud of this country. And within 12 months of us taking over, you're going to be so proud of this country. But we're only going to treat... Thank you. Thank you. While you guys were shouting, I was checking out my hair. Not that bad. Not that bad. I'm looking for a little skin in there, and I don't see it tonight. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Not bad. No. Not bad. Not the greatest. Thank you very much. This is a feisty little crowd, isn't it? I wish the fake news would show the crowd. You could go to the far reaches of the place. The stadium is massive. But they don't want to do that. They never want to do it because they're fake. They don't want to do it. There's never been anything like it. And we're going to stop with the joking. I'm going to tell you,
it's sort of sad. We've been on this journey together. Almost every one of us has started together, right? And we've been doing it for 9 years. This is the final week. We're 7 days. Now we'll be 6 days tomorrow. And when you think about it, we've created the greatest movement in the history, probably of mankind, but certainly within the United States. MAGA, Make America Great Again. There's never been anything like it. We never have empty seats. We go to the biggest arena. Look, we go to Madison Square Garden. Everyone said, oh, that's so big. We could have filled it up 6, 7, 8 times with all the people trying to get in. Who ever thought? It's the greatest political movement in the history of our country, and maybe, especially if we win, this will be the greatest movement, I think, in the history of the world, okay? It's never been anything like it. And we're going to miss these giant rallies. I love the rallies. Sometimes they'll have me do like a Q&A. I'd get to a place, and there'll be a Q&A, and I'll say, gee, I love those rallies. I don't know, it invigorates all of us, right? Everyone here. And we're only going to be doing them for like a few more days, and then we have a different kind of get-together. We're going to have a get-together where we're going to talk about all the good things we're doing. It's going to be a very positive thing. But this is something that's been a special journey for all of us. I think for all of us. You have people that have been to hundreds of these. You have people that have been, you have the front row Joes, they've been to every one. I think, look at these guys. They've been to every one. And it's just special. And, you know, all my geniuses backstage, they think it's them. Oh, they did. I said, take a regular guy, take a regular politician. Let's see how many. So what's going to happen is in 4 years, somebody's going to be running for president. They're going to hire these guys because they think they're great. And they're going to come and they're going to do a rally and there'll be about 300 people show up. Because that's the standard. If you took the greatest politician in the United States in history and you said, we're going to make a speech in Pennsylvania tonight, you'd have 300, 200, maybe 400 people if they were great. We get every time 25, 30, 40,000 people, 100,000 people in Butler. 110,000 people in California, where the elections are so rigged, it's disgusting. We were out there, we had 110,000 people in California 3 weeks ago, 110,000. We had in New Jersey, 107,000 people. But that Butler rally was something special, I would tell you. That was something. That was special for a lot of reasons. And if these companies don't make their products here, then they will pay a very stiff tariff when they send their products into the United States for the privilege of competing with our workers and our protected companies. We're going to protect our companies, and we're going to protect through very strong tariffs. We're going to protect our whole system. And by the way, China does it and others do it. But we can do it better because we have a better product. We have a better product. The product is the USA. We have a great product. And we'll also pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. That means if China or any other country, it's not only China, it's everybody ripping us off. We changed it a lot. We changed it a lot. We renegotiated South Korea's deal, Japan's deal. We were in the process of the European Union. I'll tell you what, the European Union sounds so nice, so lovely, right? All the nice European little countries, they get together. They're brutal. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm products. They sell millions and millions of cars in the United States. No. They are going to have to pay a big price. And, you know, just like I stopped that plant that was going to be built in Mexico, biggest plant in the world going to be built. And I said, and I was in Detroit at the Economic Forum, at the Economic Club, and I said, they're going to build the biggest plant there. It's going to wipe out all of Michigan. We're way up tonight in Michigan. You know why? Because of things like that. Because if they built that plant, then Detroit and Michigan as a whole, I don't think they made as many cars as this one monster plant that was owned by China. It was near the border. They were going to make millions of cars and just keep sending them into our country and destroy our jobs, destroy our whole market. We already lost about 65% from the heyday. We're going to bring it back to the heyday. We're going to bring it back, and we can do it so easily and so smartly. And I said, I'm going to put tariffs on those cars. And if 100% isn't enough, I'll make it 2. They're not going to have one car come into the United States. They'll be sitting there with all these cars and never coming in because all they're going to do is destroy our automobile manufacturing business. And you know what happened? Today, the guy that built it, the other day, he calls me up. I see him. I say, what's happening with that plant? He's the biggest builder of these auto plants. I said, I want to see one. He said, you'll have to come to Mexico. I said, I want to go to Mexico. I want to see one here. He said, we're not building them in the United States. We're building them in Mexico. I said, who owns them? China. I see, so China now, in order to save the trip, is going to build them and then really knock the hell out of a car, which they're doing in Europe, by the way. They're killing them in Europe. He said, not going to happen. I said, I don't want to see it. I don't have to see it. How big is it? He said, the biggest in the world. I said, all right. Let them know that I'm putting a 100% tariff on every car that they make. And if that's not enough, I'll double it. And I forgot about it. This was about 6-7 months ago. And I forgot about it. Then I was making a speech the other day, and I see the same guy. He's the biggest builder of auto plants. That's all he wants to do is, if you told him build an apartment, he wouldn't know how to do it. But an auto plant, fully computerized. I see him at the speech that I'm making in Detroit. And I call him over after I finish. I said, John, let me ask you, how's that big monster doing in Mexico? He said, oh, sir, they canceled it last week because they think you're going to be elected president and you're going to put tariffs on. How about that? Is that beautiful? They canceled it. But if Kamala got in, they would restart it very quickly, believe me. She doesn't exactly think too much about that stuff, does she? If China or any other countries charge us a 100 or 200% tax, then we will charge them. This is the reciprocal act that we're calling it. I'll put my name on it if they want, or I'll leave my name off. I couldn't care less, but we're going to have a reciprocal tax. We're going to charge them the same 100 or 200% tariff or tax. Called an eye for an eye. And all of the ripoff will stop immediately. I will never apologize for defending America, but isn't that a beautiful story with the plant? I mean, if Michigan didn't vote, wouldn't I be surprised? We have a big lead in Michigan, by the way, a very big lead. We have a big lead in Arizona. We have a big lead, and the fake news won't tell you, but you'll see it hopefully on Tuesday night. But by the way, you got to get out and vote, otherwise I would be very embarrassed. This is all subject to you voting. You vote. It's not, we don't have a problem in the world. But great, we're doing great in Nevada. We're doing great in Arizona. We're doing great, really good in North Carolina. How about the people of North Carolina? They showed up to vote in record numbers, and the place was practically demolished by Hurricane Helene. I was worried about that. I said, North Carolina, we thought maybe 50%, maybe 40 or 30% would show up. More people showed up to vote for this election than any election in the history of North Carolina. Is that right thus far? Can you believe it? They set a record. And they're voting for Trump. But I'll protect our workers, I'll protect our jobs, I will protect our borders, I will protect our families, and I will protect the birthright of our children to live in the richest and most powerful nation on the face of the earth. And as we rescue our economy, I will also restore our borders. Over the past 4 years, Kamala orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has inflicted upon its people. She allowed this to happen to us. She allowed us to be invaded. We were invaded. This was a massive invasion of criminals. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of migrant gangs who are waging a campaign of violence and terror against our citizens. It's vicious what's happening. They're killing our people. Kamala has imported criminal migrants from prisons and jails,
insane asylums and mental institutions from all around the world, from Venezuela to the Congo. Oh, the Congo. They're supplying lots. They're taking them out of their jails. They're opening up their jails, and they're busing them. They can't get enough buses, frankly, because I'm shocked. Venezuela is only about 60% empty. Do you know that Venezuelan crime is down 72%? You know why? Because their criminals are being taken into the United States of America. It's like, I said this, the press gave me a hard time on this one. They said it was very, no, I don't think it's disrespectful. It's like we're a giant garbage can. That's what they treat us like. And these are killers. These are drug dealers. These are gangs, gang members. These are some of the worst people. These are terrorists. And they're treating us and dumping. They're dumping like we're a dumping ground. And it includes savage criminals who assault, rape, and murder our women and our girls. And then they say, oh, my people said, sir, please don't say that. What? You're going to protect the women. It sounds very like, I said, well, don't they want protection? I think they want protection. No, don't. Sure, it doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. I'm going to protect our women from criminals coming into our country and going up to the suburbs and doing really bad things. We're going to protect our men, our women, our children. We're going to protect our country. 100% protect our country. But they said it sounds terrible. It sounds so terrible when you say they can take care of themselves. So no. When you see MS-13 coming through your front door, you're not taking care of yourself. And your husband's not going to take care of you too good either, believe me. And she wants to take your guns away. We're not taking your guns away ever. Ever. Are there any women in this giant, massive arena that do not want protection? Please raise your hand. Do women want to be protected? Anyone who would let monsters kidnap and kill our children does not belong anywhere near the Oval Office. Doesn't belong. Today, I want America to hear directly from a mother whose world has been shattered forever by Kamala. This is difficult to watch. I had a group of people watching it. It's a difficult thing to watch, but this is what's happening in our country thousands and thousands of times. Please watch.
Sunday night, I asked her to not stay up super late because of her coming to work with me in the morning to do her summer school. She said, okay. I told her good night and I love you. I went to bed, not realizing that that was going to be the last time I saw her.
We're best friends. Yeah. We're going to shake it again.
I woke up to notice she wasn't in her bed. I'm in my heart trying not to lose my mind because I don't know where she is. I finally remembered her phone had a location on, and her phone was pinging just 2 minutes down the road, right behind the skate park. I start driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cop cars with lights on. I see yellow tape. And immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
We
We begin with two men we're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her. She had her entire life ahead of her.
Happy birthday, dear Jocelyn.
My daughter is 6 feet in the ground based off of policies that she allowed to keep. Kamala Harris did have one job, and she not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter. She failed Jocelyn. You know, she was only 12. President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former president, but just as a father, someone who cares. I believe Donald Trump needs to be back in office. I can at least know that my next child will be safe in this country.
Oh, boy. That's a tough one. What a beautiful woman and what a beautiful child, and that child is no longer with us. It's just like crazy. And what they did to her, So, and you know, you have so many others, Laken Riley. You have so many others. I could name 15 others right now, but they have thousands of them. Should be right there. You have thousands of cases like that. Many young girls, but many people are being killed by the people that come in illegally through an open border. The day I take the oath of office, the migration and this horrible migrant invasion ends, and the restoration of our country begins, and it begins in a very strong way. The savages charged with brutalizing and murdering precious Jocelyn are members of the same vicious Venezuelan prison gang, Tren de Aragua, that has taken over apartment complexes and unleashing a violent killing spree all over America. They're all over America. In Colorado, they've taken over big complexes. The governor's a radical left Democrat who's petrified. He doesn't know what to do. They have the weapons of a fine military. They've even taken over recently Times Square in New York. Please take a look.
Open borders.
not going to be laughing. They never laughed at us. Viktor Orban, the very powerful Prime Minister of Hungary, said, bring back Trump and everything will stop. All these wars, everything will stop. They respected him. He actually said differently. He said they feared him, but I don't care. What difference does it make? But you know what? They said they would do what he wanted. China was afraid. Russia was afraid. They're all afraid. And you know what? I don't want them to be afraid. I just want respect, and they're going to respect us again. Right now, they're laughing at our country. They're laughing at us. If we win, America will be feared and respected again. And on issue after issue, Kamala broke it, and I will fix it, and I'll fix it very quickly. But we're also going to make America healthy again. As many of you know, we have talked a lot about getting dangerous chemicals out of our environment and out of our food supply. Today, I'm adding that we are going to tackle the exploding rates of childhood depression, suicide, and pediatric cancer. We have numbers that other countries don't have. We don't just want to manage these problems, we want to prevent them from happening in the first place. I will assemble the best and brightest minds, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK, with the goal of reducing by 50% within 4 years the rates of childhood cancer, depression, and suicide, and ultimately to end these epidemics entirely. They are indeed epidemics. We are not just running against Kamala, remember that, or Joe. She means nothing. She is purely a vessel. She can't put two sentences together. Just like we were not running against crooked Joe Biden. We are running against something far bigger and far more powerful and more destructive than them, which is a massive, vicious, crooked, radical left machine that runs today's Democrat Party. Very smart. They're smart, they're vicious, and they hate our country. These are the people who are doing such harm to our country with their open borders policies, record-setting inflation, Green New Scam, and everything else. But we are not going to let it happen any longer. We are going to have the biggest victory in the history of our country on November 5th. And we are going to make America great again. On top of it all, Kamala says she would not do one thing differently from Joe Biden, which in itself is totally disqualifying. Please.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
An Afghan national is in custody today after being accused of plotting an election day terrorist attack. The suspect entered the U.S. on a special immigrant visa.
Gut-wrenching new details in the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national who crossed the unsecured southern border back in 2022.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Only 18% say the economy is in excellent or good condition. US inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
Authorities saying Train de Aragua, which has been linked with more than 100 criminal investigations here in the U.S., has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
Nothing comes to mind. What mind? You know that 325,000 children are dead, slaves or sex slaves right now. They came through the open border. That's many stadiums filled with 300. Remember that number, because if that were on the other side, like the Republican side, the fake news back there would make it the biggest story in the history of our country. 375,000 children are dead, missing, or slaves right now through her open border, and they don't even write stories about it. No, it's the worst thing that I've ever heard of, I think. If you want to end this disaster, you must get out and vote. You just have to get out and vote. We're going to beat them so badly. So we're thrilled to be joined by some incredible people. I already mentioned Senator Marco Rubio. Marco, will you come up here, please? Come on. Good man, this one. Thank you, Marco. Thank you. You want to say something? Go ahead.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage. Are garbage. He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you for running, Mr. President.
Wow. That's terrible. That's what it says. That's what it says. So you have, remember Hillary, she said deplorable, and then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable, that didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know. You have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said. These people, terrible, terrible. Terrible to say a thing like that, but he really doesn't know. He really, honestly, he doesn't. And I'm convinced that he likes me more than he likes Kamala. Convinced. But that's a terrible thing. Also with us is a wonderful woman, highly respected Puerto Rico Senator Zoraida Buxo, who's terrific. Come up here for a second. She's fantastic. Great woman, so respected in Puerto Rico and beyond. Please. Nice to see you.
It's an honor to share the stage with you, Mr. President. And we have some unfinished business to do with respect to Puerto Rico. And if there is a leader that can get us to a final resolution, that is you. That is you. So the people of Puerto Rico trust you, and we have high hopes. As many Americans, we need this man back in the White House. We need this man to be our commander-in-chief. He will make us feel safe, and he will protect us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. Highly respected person. And I'm so proud that we're getting support from Latinos like never before. We're setting every record. Hispanics, Latinos. Nobody loves our Latino community and our Puerto Rican community more than I do. Nobody. You know, it's interesting because I've done more for Puerto Rico than any president by far. Nobody close. I provided historic funding, and the hospital ship, when they were hit with a couple of really bad ones right in the road. We got the ship over there with thousands of rooms, actually. It was amazing. A floating hospital, the biggest in the world. I will deliver the best future for Puerto Ricans and for Hispanic Americans. Kamala will deliver you poverty and crime. That's all they're going to do. And by the way, she has slandered the people of the Catholic Church. I don't know what it is with Catholics, but they are after Catholics. But we're going to protect the Catholics too. We're going to protect. I don't know what you did, Catholics, but you're being persecuted by Kamala and her group. I will keep your families safe. I will defend religion. I will bring jobs, wealth, and factories back. And Puerto Rico in itself will be very thankful. The whole Hispanic, Latino community will be very, very thankful. And I appreciate we have numbers that nobody's ever had before. Nobody's ever had these numbers. No Republicans even come close. You take a look at some of our Republicans, they were at a tiny fraction. I may get 50% of the vote. Nobody's even heard of that before. And more and more and more and more. We're doing the right thing. Incredible people, energetic, smart, great entrepreneurial people. We appreciate, and we have a lot of them here tonight. Thank you very much. Latinos, Hispanics, Puerto Rico. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Thank you very much. And thanks also, I want to just thank some great people that are here, members of Congress. They're warriors. They're tough and they're smart and they love this Commonwealth and they also love our country a lot. Dan Muser. Dan, thank you very much. Congressman, a fantastic man. How are we doing here, Dan? How are we doing? I think he says great. Yeah, we're doing great. We got to keep the cheating from these people. They're cheats. Keep it down. Watch it. Call the police if you see them doing it. When you see them doing it. Wesley Hunt, you just heard. I heard his speech. Boy, that was a barn burner, Wesley. A great family, beautiful guy. Thank you very much. West Point, the whole deal he's got. He got the West Point thing going. Thank you, Wesley. And Republican National Committee Chairman Michael Whatley, who you just met, and he is a fantastic man. Thank you, Michael. What a job. What a job, Michael. Hopefully we're going to have the biggest celebration next week that we've ever had in the history of our country. Right? Here are the facts. Kamala is a radical left Marxist rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas. She destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of defund the police. And anybody who wants to defund the police for even a brief moment is not worthy of being president of the United States. We have to protect our police. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE. She wants to ban fracking in Pennsylvania. She wants to ban it. She's going to ban it. She will do it in 2 seconds if she lucks out or if they cheat their way into office. And as California Attorney General, she redefined, I don't know if you heard this, redefined the terms child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. She pledged to confiscate your guns and endorsed a total ban on handgun owners. This is all the stuff she wants. She's a Marxist. She's a Marxist. A lot of people say, don't use the term Marxist because people don't understand. Okay, she's a communist. She's a communist. And our country is not ready for a communist. It will never be ready for a communist. Remember, I used to say, we will never be a socialist country. At the State of the Union address, I said, we will never be a socialist country. And I like to be right, because I was right. We're not a socialist. She skipped socialism. She went right down to communism. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention. All paid for all paid for by the taxpayers of the United States of America. And then what did she do? She lied about working at McDonald's. She never worked at McDonald's before. And I went to McDonald's last week. Did you see that by any chance? That turned out to be a big monster. And on top of all of this, Kamala tried to turn our military woke, but it's not woke. We defeated ISIS. You know, I'm the only president in 82 years I didn't start a war. When Hillary said, look at him, he's going to start a war. No, I said, I'm going to be the one that keeps you out of war. I'm going to keep you out of war. And I did. You didn't have a war. You didn't lose your children. You didn't lose your son or your daughter like others did with stupid leadership. No, we're going to really do something. In conclusion, with your vote this November, we're going to fire Kamala and we are going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to America and back to the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine. Should have never happened, would have never happened. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East. October 7th would have never happened. And I will prevent World War III very easily. I will prevent it. I know everybody. I know all the players. We can't have World War III. We have very, very stupid people running our country. We could end up, I'm actually worried about 3 months. You know, they're still there. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. We will build a massive missile defense shield over our country. And it'll all be made in the USA, and I promise Pennsylvania will get a big piece of it. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And I will put forward a bill that anybody burning or destroying an American flag will go to prison for 1 year. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms, our Second Amendment. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country, defend our borders, and protect our citizens and our land. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will stop criminals from coming into our country. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and always filled with the wonderful and beautiful American dream. The American dream will come back. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that is too big to rig, too big to rig. You need to get out and vote. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. This nation belongs to you. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country And 7 days from now, it will be hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help from now until Election Day, 7 days. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. We will restore America's promise, and we will take back the nation that we love. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Get out and vote. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. God bless you all.